Good morning, everybody. Welcome to IT Live, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. I'm Joe Cook. That's Justin Wells. That's Ian Boyd. Noted big fan of Boise State football, Ian Boyd. Little inside
Huge.
We'll keep going. Make
so
sure
that was saying, if Stark fails for the New Orleans Saints, my list of replacements goes first, call Kyle Shanahan and see if he's still attached to the NFL. Then you go talk to Lane Kiffin. And then from there, we can discuss other options.
You see what we get into off air. A whole lot of fun as we do it. But we'll talk about, because Sark's not going to the Saints. Let's not worry about that at all. We'll talk
I love Joe's integrity.
I don't
you get for cutting me off.
You can clip whatever and be like, oh, guess what they said? And I want to make sure that we've got it on record that we're just messing around. But we don't mess around over at Inside Texas. So make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And, of course, go to Inside Texas. It is that first link in our description. You can sign up for just $1. Join the best Texas Longhorns community. Get the best Texas Longhorns intel. And get everything you need to know about Texas football over at Inside Texas. So should be a lot of fun. Guys, we got to talk a little bit about this SEC injury report that came out on Wednesday. Before we get to that, let me make sure I got this going at the right direction. Got to say give some love to our guy, Joshy Manning. Great coverage. Appreciate that as always.
Big fan of Joshy. Big fan of Joshy.
Drew M. Hookham from Lakeland. Appreciate that. Bobby Petronic, we'll get to that comment. I know you made that point on the board. I think it's a good point to bring up. Roaster, appreciate it as always. So, SEC student athlete availability report. It's the injury report. Let's not mince words here. Came out last night, 7:10 p.m. The only thing we can kind of pre-write is CJ Baxter at this point. But the surprising ones out: Aaron Butler, Jonathan Cunningham, and Cole Hudson. Ian, that's Texas starting center. So what do you think happens for the offensive line?
I assume that Connor Robertson starts at center, and that's it. And maybe Daniel Cruz. Is he the third string center at this point? Who's the third string center?
It's Cruz, but I don't know if you better have a big lead before we see Daniel Cruz in significant snaps.
Well, whoever it is going to get a lot of attention in practice this week.
I don't think you want to see Daniel Cruz. Like that's the overall.
Unless you're winning 55-0.
Sure, but
then I would love to see some reps. I'd love to see some game reps from him. But yes.
It's a shame Stroh is I guess in concussion protocol because you would think about him as an emergency center. I would think. I mean, I know nobody wants to see him on the field again after some of his struggles, but you could get by with him at center for a game in a pinch if he's a reliable snapper, which who knows. But I don't think he could even work on that in protocol.
No,
I mean, maybe on his own in his dorm, but Texas can't foster that.
I don't know if he can bend super good to get down in a stance as a center. Right. I'm sure he could, but
Connor's a guard. Connor's a guard, and potentially can be a pretty good guard. Center is he has a. I don't. You said it, Ian. Bendy, no way, no.
If they have a walk on, that would be.
That'd be like Mason Walters. Remember how he was going to be the next center at Texas, and he was like 6'5", 6'6", and it never worked out. I see a similarity there.
Drew says Stroh, no thanks. Look, Drew. We're not drafting a team based on preference here. We're just talking about what Texas does to win a game in an emergency.
Get into Lexington and get out with the W.
Yeah. But not where I'm not trying to get Stroh back into the lineup, believe me. But you wonder if they have a walk-on. You can get by. A lot of teams end up starting walk-ons at center because it's often about headiness and quickness, and you can get by with a guy that's 6'2", 285 and scrappy if he knows what to do and he knows the offense. Sometimes the walk-on center is so good at that they just end up starting, even on really good teams. So you wonder if they have anybody that.
I don't think Kyle Flood has anything close to that, and I could be wrong, but I don't believe they have that right now.
I mean, there are senior walk-ons, but I don't think that's something I don't think that's something you want to do. Blake Bryant asked, do we know what happened to Hudson? I think this was a practice injury. I think we'll find out. Yeah, Justin's got that. Because Sark was on the SEC coaches teleconference. They do that every Wednesday, and I was trying to get some questions out of him or some answers about him, like, hey, how's Hudson doing at center? And sometimes I don't say this negatively, it's just a matter of fact. Like, Steve Sarkisian can be in a mood and be like, I'll give you, if you're asking forthright questions, I'll give you forthright answers. I thought it was a forthright question, just asking about having those two seniors with Hudson and Campbell on the offensive line and how Hudson's done at center. And he just kind of talked about the whole line. And so now, like, looking back on it, I'm like, okay, maybe the fact that he didn't highlight and specialize on Hudson should have been something to maybe note. But yeah, I think this is something where, you got to roll with Connor Robertson. And I mean, Bobby Petronic, I went back and forth with you on the IT message board, and a lot of people last remember him in 2023 against OU. And I agree, that game wasn't fair to him. And I think he's developed a lot since then, but I did make a point on that, on that post that he wasn't a very big factor in that game as far as good things. He did start this year against, Sam Houston.
Yeah.
Means he's got game experience, but at the same time, like, who knows what we're getting with Robertson, especially against, I guess, Ian, you're like, okay, it's Kentucky. If that's the team you got to do this against, it's the right one.
I guess.
Yes.
And
they've got two of their top graded defensive players, guys, are interior defensive linemen and edge guys. So but I do think Kentucky would be the game, because Connor's a technician 100%. He's going to make every call. He's going to make every protection. He's going to know exactly what to do. So I think with Kentucky, that can work. I'm with you, though, because, like, their D-line is not bad. So
I worry about getting just bullied, like against Florida. I believe he played a bunch against UTEP as well. So I'm going to go rewatch his snaps, because I believe they ran a lot of outside zone with him against UTEP. And I'd love to see what his snaps looked like in that, because I don't know. We don't know exactly what Sark is thinking, but we're suspecting that after that Oklahoma game, Texas may lean really hard into outside zone again, which makes it all the more frustrating to find an identity in a game like the Oklahoma game and then immediately lose your starting center. It's not what you want. So but that may actually suit Robertson's strengths just fine anyway. He may be better in that than, because he's like a little smaller and quicker. So outside zone may actually be better for him than like some of the other schemes, but I need to go watch him and get a better eval.
Justin, anything on Aaron Butler and Jonathan Cunningham? I think with Cunningham, it stinks because he's kind of been a quality special teams player.
Yeah,
I think that's someone you can replace. Butler, there were questions about, like, is this an opt-out? He's not on the availability report if he's opting out at this juncture of the year. Right.
We're not real sure. I've checked with a couple of people on Butler and Cunningham. You said it. Cunningham's actually been pretty valuable on special teams. He's a Blackwell type kid. Like, he has that body, that range, that twitchiness, a Maurice Blackwell type. And so it'll be interesting. But I think, again, this is Kentucky. And so I think if you go out with your best, I think you should be able to be okay. Feels to me questionable. He was getting some major – was it last week or week before against Florida? He was getting some major reps in the first and second half. Stroh, obviously, we've talked about. And then we have Drew Kelson's favorite defensive lineman in the program, a Mr. 98, Murad Watson, who will flash at times, and then he tends to get a little bit lazy at times, which Coach Kelson has explained to us. And so Yeah, some new names on here we weren't necessarily expecting, but I think this is all functional for Texas to move forward Saturday.
Filsaime, I think, is getting a little bit more trust because he was getting. I don't think it was single high rotation. I think he was getting legit snaps at nickel against Oklahoma.
Yes,
and there were some
the ones we thought Wardo Mack were going to get.
Right. So if they're trying, and Filsaime's gifts have always been physical. It's always been a little bit like, okay, is he going to catch up with the processing part? Yeah. But if you're playing that position, you're kind of just reading, okay, run or pass. And then your assignments are a little bit, I guess, different than deep safety, just because you have a
lot different than deep safety.
You have a safety behind you. Whereas if you're putting Filsaime at safety, there's no one behind him. And maybe he hadn't earned all that trust quite yet.
No, if you're putting Filsaime at star, you trust him.
Right.
That's the most complex position on the defensive front. If you put Filsaime at star, that means he is earning trust by the day.
Anything on Kentucky really stand out? I mean, I'm not going to lie.
Jaden Smith is probably their highest. I believe is their highest rated DB right now. I did the best and worst of the PFF thing yesterday. The other guys, none of those other guys were in anywhere close to the higher grades for the Kentucky Wildcats, so I don't know how valuable they'll actually be. But Jaden Smith, I believe, is one of their starting corners and probably their best corner or best defensive back. I think he does play some corner. I think he even plays some inside too.
Justin, Bobby Petronic says Connor Robertson's listed at 6'4", 312. How big is he really? 6'2", 290?
He's not 6'4".
Yeah.
He's 6'2", 6'3". If he was on one of those machines with traction that kind of like stretches you, you could probably get him to 6'3". I'd say $3 bills. I'd say he's up to 300 pounds. He's been working in the weight room for 3 years now, but he's no bigger than 6'3", 300 pounds. He's a technician, guys. He is a technician. He is not going to be a big bully. He's not going to be a guy that bulldozes anything. He is a pure technician. Is going to have to get by on grit and technique.
I think Troy Stellato, I think he went to, was it Miami or was it Clemson?
I remember that. I recognized that name, but I couldn't remember exactly where.
I want to say Clemson.
I think it was Clemson, and then he transferred out. It's just.
Hey, I'm surprised Will Smith's son is playing football. If you would have seen the path of that kid the last 10 years, the fact that he's going out to play football is shocking to me.
It is Clemson.
Sailor Joe asked, which running back was Sark referring to that we had tried to recruit on Kentucky? I'm trying. I mean, I think he may have been referring to Kendrick Law. That's someone, but he's at wide receiver. I don't think Texas was recruiting Seth McGowan at all, especially after he had his legal problems.
Yeah, I mean, McGowan would fit. Joe, I think he would fit in that category, especially with the year he's having, but not with the baggage he brought.
Maybe he was recruiting Jamarian Wilcox. That name looked familiar, but I don't remember Texas really being involved with Dante Dowdle. I think it was. I mean, I think it was Kendrick Law is a name I remembered.
Texas recruited Law, if you remember. He's out of Shreveport.
Yes, like I remember those, but I don't remember anybody else. Ashton Cozart, he's a wide receiver. He's on his
I didn't know Cozart was on there. He wasn't one. I didn't see him in one of the higher graded kids. That was a fun kid to cover in the DFW area. What's that, his third school?
Yeah, SMU, Oregon, or Oregon SMU, and now this. And then Landon Watson from Hutto went to Marshall, went to TCU.
He was a D-line target there for a quick minute.
Right.
Kind of short, kind of stocky.
And so a lot of it's a very interesting roster. It's a very interesting situation at Kentucky. I did a little bit of, crossover stuff with our friends at KSR, crossover stuff with Kentucky rivals. I think it's Cat's Paws. And then I go look on their site and man, it is all about Mark Pope at SEC Basketball Media Days. So
there's Kentucky sports for you right there.
Yeah, that kind of tells you where the Wildcats are looking right now. And then this one, here's a problem. I haven't even paid attention to this. Is it Zach Calzada or is it's going to be Cutter Boley?
It was Cutter Boley last couple of weeks.
Right. And Cutter Boley was someone who I remember watching that disgusting game last year, 11 fumbles combined. But I remember
in the Texas game.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's the one I covered.
No,
Kentucky had 11 fumbles in that game.
No, combined.
Oh.
Was that me and you, Justin, at that one?
That was you and me, Ian. Yeah. Man, we had such a good time. We always do
home with a 2-week-old.
That's right. You were milking that one. That's right.
Texas. I think there was some talk among Texas fans that people respected the grit Boley played with, but he didn't play well. You know, it's kind of one of those like you tried really hard, but it's not like you did a great job.
He was the starting quarterback was terrible in that game last year. Boley comes in and starts completing passes and semi-moving the ball down the field. So people instantly just went to, well, Boley should have been the guy. Well, no, you were down 31-7 when Boley, or 31-14 when Boley came in. He just so happened to move the chains a little bit, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to make a difference. But you did think after the game, I wonder what they would have looked like if Cutter was the starter, because flip phone Vandergrift just wasn't clicking it.
Man, that was just you can tell why they're already on a basketball. So,
and listen, bringing up Ashley Judd, that is what I'm here for. Okay, she's on my top 5 list. I have been obsessed with Ashley Judd for a very long time, all the way back to A Time to Kill. Gigantic basketball fan. She's hot. She's wonderful. If I'm in Lexington and I bump into Ashley Judd, y'all gonna have to come find me.
What's your number one Ashley Judd movie?
Double Jeopardy.
I would go Heat myself.
This is
not really for her, just for the movie.
This is Kentucky. This is Kentucky news, Joe. So we're staying on task. He is a gigantic Big Blue fan. I think you know that. Granted, we only really see her at basketball games and F1 races. I'm not sure if she's still married to that guy, but when talking about Kentucky week, we're bringing up Ashley Judd.
Born in Los Angeles, went to Kentucky, and then got some sort of she got an MPA at Harvard.
Oh my God, she's hot and smart.
Before we keep going,
that's like Natalie Portman. It's the trifecta.
Before we keep going, got to show some love to our sponsor, that is Academy.
Any gate can be a tailgate.
Hey, Sugar Daddy, I know.
I'm up there. I'm older than all you guys. Paul wants to act like he's oldest, but that's because he still has some alpha male in the back of his head. I'm actually the oldest dude on this staff, technically. So
I actually kind of like this point. Boley reminds me of Avery Johnson at K-State. All the tools, doesn't seem to get football. And Boley's problem is that he plays tougher competition. So all those problems are accentuated. Those Bo Nix memes, like this is a year Bo Nix is going to get it. People have been saying that about Avery Johnson for a couple of years now. And
hey, I don't think Cutter Boley's family is going to have a fist fight outside the stadium on Saturday if Texas beats them. That's just me, though. I don't know how those family rolls.
In Dublin, Ireland.
Woo! That's a place to get thrown in jail. That could be on that Locked Up Abroad, National Geographic. I love that show.
Remember when Kansas State let Will Howard walk, and all the Kansas State fans were like, yeah, because our backup's better. You just wait for Avery Johnson. You just wait.
Well, the other important thing was, like, I remember Texas, they had, there was that K-State game, the Malik Murphy game, and Avery Johnson got like 2 series, but when it was winning time, you saw who they wanted out there on the field, and that was Will Howard.
Winning time. Avery Johnson did nothing, and they had like 3 carries for -1 yards and was never seen from again.
Yeah, and now they're trying. It's just not happening up there. So we'll see what Chris Kleiman can figure out, but we got to worry about another team. That's the Texas Longhorns. And Ian, before we get into your article, tell us a little bit about what Texas did on 3rd down that might be something they can replicate for the rest of the season.
They converted it. I don't know what their ranking was before Oklahoma, but it was low, like nationally super duper low. It was like, I have it written down below, but I think it was like 35.5% or something on 3rd down. They were 58% on 3rd down against Oklahoma, which would be number 1 in the country. So that's pretty good. And most of that was Arch Manning.
Running the quarterback. I'm trying to pull up the stats real quick, but it was Arch Manning.
It's on there below.
You've already got it. Oh, there we go.
There's a table. There's a whole table for our ease and understanding. They were 10 for 17 on 3rd down. 14 of those 3rd downs were either a pass attempt or a run by Arch Manning. So 14 out of 17 3rd downs was all Manning. I mean, he threw to Wisner a couple of times. So Wisner was still a little bit involved, but Manning was 8 for 14, which is just 1 percentage point worse than they were in the others. And I have some examples below, but he converted after the game. They were like, it's about getting 3rd and manageable. It's about making 3rd down easier. Well, you scan through the 3rd downs that they converted, and there's some like 3rd and longs, not super long, but a lot of 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 8.
7, 3rd and 8. In that second half, do you notice a lot of that with him getting out of the pocket and finding guys like Ryan Wingo to extend that drive, finding DeAndre Moore to extend that drive? Those were 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8s.
Yep. If I can, I'm trying to pull up the there's a striking like dichotomy of what you're talking about, the 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 8 part, or it was actually 3rd and 9 or longer, and then the 3rd and short, 3rd and 1 through 4. The real big thing was they struggled on those 3rd and 9s or longer, as any team does, but they were humming on 3rd and 1 through 3rd and 4, and they hadn't had those opportunities. And they finally got them against Oklahoma, and they made the most of them.
That's the talking point, and that's true. But they really controlled that game because Arch did hit a couple 3rd and longs too.
Right. Especially the one that everybody's been kind of gushing over, the one in the end zone.
Yeah, that one was I think they beat Oklahoma on that play.
Buddy, when I clipped that, generally I only clip the biggest highlights. When I saw that throw, I immediately clipped it, and that was that's damn throw and catch. And it was almost like instantly, that's the best throw we've seen Arch Manning make this year. That might be the play of the game.
That was our guy, Eddie Ratto, at Sooner Scoop.
Radosevich.
Yeah, he clipped it, and he was like, when this happened, I was like, this is not good for us.
Did you see what Eric replied to him?
No.
You should write about it.
I should write about it.
No, not you. Remember, they were taking shots at Eric because Paul had written that piece or whatever about Oklahoma, or what, I can't remember what it was about.
Auburn.
About Auburn, and Eddie was like, well, maybe you should, write about it, kind of like the OU thing. Eric came back with it with Eddie, like, hey, man, maybe you should write about that. Got to give our boy E some love on that one.
Nice.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Eddie, and I think Eddie understands what's going on. He said, like, I saw that, and I'm just kind of like, oh, this game's going a certain way. So they used Manning, but the thing is, as you kind of point out, Ian, it's not like they rushed him. And that was a big component, a little bit of a surprise that it wasn't because they just were playing John Mateer ball with Arch Manning. It's because Manning was making the most of some of his opportunities on the run.
Yeah, they did it like twice. And both times, Oklahoma was totally caught with their pants down. We suspect that Manning may have been too beat up to really just spam quarterback counter, quarterback power all day. They ran it less than they did against UTEP.
Ian, didn't you say that they didn't really show a design quarterback run play until the middle of the third quarter?
I think that's right. They may have had some options. I think there was mostly like fake backside options for Arch. And then they did run quarterback power on 3rd and 2, which was like in the third quarter. Yeah. And then they had the one that the
final run that went for 25 and he slid.
Yeah, that was like a zone read bluff. That was probably not a real read. They probably just told him you're going to keep it because they've been setting it up the whole game.
And one of those things Sark said post game, and the internet sucks so bad in that Cotton Bowl press room that it was hard to really get on the board. So I don't know if it ever made it there or made it here. Was
it's lost in the ether.
Yeah, basically, and I think everybody sees the leg sleeve that Arch was wearing. It's like, oh, that's swag. Probably true to an extent. But the way Sark phrased it, he said Arch didn't miss. Arch was beat up after Florida, as you might expect. Didn't miss a rep of practice.
Yeah.
And, if you're not on the injury report, it may just kind of, there may be like this mindset that it's like, oh, the video game, like, you play your recovery throughout the week and you play, but like it's not like that. Like he took a lot of hits at Florida, and Sark saying he didn't miss a rep kind of illustrates why, maybe they were a little bit more cautious with some of the run game until it was a have to have it moment. But the best part is, Justin, like they found other offense that didn't put all the pressure on Arch.
Yeah. Listen, I said it yesterday on Trey Elling's ESPN show. I thought the biggest factor in this game was Trey Wisner getting to the second level. Like that was just something we didn't see the first 6 weeks of the season. First 5 weeks, it just didn't exist. Trey Wisner was getting to the second level on runs. You do that, this offense will hum. When you can make the defense honest against the run. But it wasn't all we didn't see hero ball from Arch like we thought we were going to have to see. I thought he was very balanced with the way that they divvied the ball out. They didn't really take any deep shots. They were very conservative. But the fact that Trey Wisner could miss the first contact, could get to the second level, could create when he was that check down a handful of times. We'd seen running backs catch that check and get to the line of scrimmage if lucky. He was getting 5, 6, 7 yards. That, to me, was what helped this offense, especially in the second half, move the ball down the field.
All right. So, Ian, you talked about how Arch had 3 different ways to convert on third down. There's a 3rd and 9 in the second quarter. Which one's
this one to Wingo?
More. The Wingo one, I'm not sure if that was on 3rd down. I think that might
was. There was one on 3rd with Wingo.
Was there? Okay.
Yes.
He had a few of those throughout the game.
And he could have ran, potentially got the yardage, but it probably wouldn't have. There were 2 or 3 Sooners in front of him. He goes ahead and slides it to Ryan, who winds up picking up maybe 12.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that was on 3rd down too.
The other thing is that this is coming back to me now. Ian, do you remember how in the lead up to the game where you talked about, okay, let Nick Brooks work one-on-one situations with Gooseby to his left?
Yeah.
Well, look at this formation. That's what they're doing. I'm guessing that's R. Mason Thomas, like kind of standing up without his hand and about to hit play. I forget how this one looks, but scramble to find a receiver is how this works. I'm going to watch Nick Brooks. Y'all watch everybody else and tell me what y'all see.
I see Trevor Gooseby annihilate somebody. Well, I think he just caught him off balance.
I think this was good.
Brooks at least finds work. Brooks
actively looks for somebody to hit. And there's some plays where you see Nick Brooks running down the field with the guys kind of trying to keep blocking. Like, there's an enthusiasm with Brooks that I think this line was missing.
Yeah.
Like, and that's Brandon Baker probably gets pushed back a little bit too far for anybody's liking. Same with Cole Hudson. So this is like what Arch has to do. And he goes and finds it right there. Like, it's
somebody tweeted in this game, is there a better quarterback in college football right now that will avoid that first and second rusher?
Probably not.
I think it's a discussion. I think Arch is in that conversation.
Yeah.
You know what makes him great is not just like Trinidad Chambliss is probably harder to catch and tackle than Arch Manning. But what Arch Manning does that other guys don't, or Lenore Sellers in the comments, what Arch Manning is good at that these other guys are not good at is that sometimes he gets out of the pocket. Sometimes he just moves enough in the pocket to still execute the design play.
Right.
And that's a higher level. Now you're talking like
he keeps his eyes downfield.
Brady, Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, NFL kind of players. Because you're not going to catch me and I'm going to go out and make something new happen. That you get diminishing returns with that style against elite college defenses and certainly in the NFL. You need guys that can move in order to keep a play alive, the actual play, and then to try to do something out of structure.
I'm in full agreement with Williams David here. Like, that is, yeah, he can do things from the pocket. Yeah, he can read, but like the fact that he can do a lot of different things while still on the move, that's what's special. And so
that's what he's getting better at, and I think more comfortable at week by week.
I think moving in the pocket and throwing down the field is his most special trait.
And I'll give David Williams even a little bit more credit. I agree with that, but I need to see you back at Inside Texas, David Williams. I'm not letting up. We've got so much good stuff that you miss every day. Man, come on. Let's share a big red. Come back to the community that loved you the most. Let's go, David.
Ian, I'm going to switch it to the backside all 22 one because I've got it.
Sure.
This is that Parker Livingston throw. And hey, sometimes guys make plays. Grayson Halton bats the hands down, puts a great swim. But still, this is just one of those things where you see it and you're like, oh man, that's why everybody is so hyped up about him.
I knew it immediately when he made the throw because this angle is so much better than the television throw angle we had.
Because look, you got pass rusher.
Somebody gets his ankles, Joe.
I think they only send
3 and have him spy.
Yeah.
Halton does a great move, and this is technically it's double coverage, but it's only where his guy can get it, and it's like a 20-something yard throw. This is,
and I want to give and I'm telling you, Parker Livingston needs credit for that one too, man. It takes it takes 2 to tango in that one.
Because
dude,
if that's anywhere to the left, that's in. Is that a Bowen brother? Yeah.
And it's incomplete, and it's 4th down, and it's a 1-possession game, and they're backed up in terrible territory. That's how valuable that play was.
Yeah, this is one of those this is one of the plays where everybody's going to look at going forward and think that was the moment, But Ian, you kind of go on in the article and say, in honesty, Manning wasn't exemplifying dual threat abilities as much as pocket awareness. Fastest dual threats are often less effective because they pull the ball down and take off, intending to make up a plan on the fly. But Manning is doing this to try to trust the pass, as you mentioned, and work his eyes downfield.
Yeah, he'll do both. He'll try to keep the original play design alive if there's something promising there. And then if he has to, he'll go to plan B. A lot of guys, they bail on plan A so fast.
So then that was scramble to throw. And then you also mentioned that he starts looking for checkdowns too, which is something I think Texas fans were too familiar with last year. But, one of the things that you got to do is just complete this pass. And Justin, you hope your guy can make a play.
Yeah. See, that throw, that's the one to Wingo. I think I would think I was even maybe talking about earlier. No, I think he was running on the other one. You know what it is? Against Ohio State, he missed that throw.
Yeah.
5 weeks later, 6 weeks later, after playing college football, getting some development, getting some experience, understanding what your O-line can and can't do, understanding what your receivers can and cannot do, he makes that pass. He will continue to make that pass. He'll continue to grow off of that. I just think that play exemplifies where he's come from 5 months ago, or 5 weeks ago, rather.
The trick of these is that to be good at throwing checkdowns, you have to be willing to get the ball out quickly and trust your teammate in a high pressure situation. So this is like 3rd and 9, I think, 3rd and 8. It's at least 3rd and 7.
3rd and 8.
He's getting the ball.
Guys barreling down on him.
He's getting the ball out like this.
He has to in this one. Yeah.
This is why, like, sometimes there would be debate. For a long time, there was a debate over whether Tom Brady was actually that good. Because you'd pull up Tom Brady highlights and Tom Brady comebacks. And a lot of times it was just him throwing quick flats and checkdowns, especially in his 30s. And it'd be like, is Tom Brady even good?
That's Barry. That's a Barry talking point. If you know
it's
that.
Definitely a Barry talking point. But other people would say that too. It's like, is this guy even good? And it's like, well, yes, because hitting those quick, it's hard for an elite quarterback to get rid of the ball that quickly in a high pressure situation, knowing that it's the right decision. You get like in the NBA, like people used to dog on LeBron for passing to open teammates. And they'd be like, Kobe wouldn't have passed it. Kobe would have taken some bad mid-range shot. That's winning basketball. That's not winning basketball. That's not winning football. Hitting the quick check down against the blitz is a winning play. And when you can combine that with elite athleticism and improv, now you're really cooking. But it's really hard to get that combination in the same player. Because if you're really good at extending a play with athleticism, it's hard to give up the ball on a quick check down. Does that make sense?
Because you, in essence, know there's something bigger to attain there.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Be careful driving Tom Brady and LeBron James into a skid when your conversation's in. I was trying to make sure I was overcorrecting for you. So we got to stay here.
Just to satiate all parties, how do you think Steve Kerr got his rings as a player?
Shooting open shots.
Who created those shots?
Phil Jackson by convincing Michael Jordan to finally pass
the triangle. The triangle. Okay.
Who's open, Jordan? Who's open, Michael?
But but
pass him the effing ball, Michael. Pass him the ball.
It was more than that. It was, Michael, do you trust this guy? Michael, not yet. Give me a few years. And he earned that trust, like John Paxson. He earned
That's a load of nonsense.
It's nonsense. It's nonsense to earn the trust, please.
Michael Jordan had to get tired of losing. That's what had to happen.
Please.
You know who is earned a lot of trust is that Trey Wisner.
Oh, I thought we were gonna go to something like
not quite yet. Wisner. I think everybody talks about his reliability and just his
grit.
His superpower is just he goes where it's blocked for. And then what happens after that, you find out. But he's still a really great athlete. He may not be like a super athlete.
He's a really good athlete, Joe.
But he's still a really good athlete. And so, like, the fact – and he shows it off in plays like this. And, we saw it a lot from Jonathan Brooks. Jaden Blue is probably playing in the NFL because he did some pretty good things on checkdowns like this because he's great in open space.
Great catching the
ball. Wisner's doing a little bit more of that this year. So it's not all Arch, obviously. And I know
he made people miss, Joe. I'm telling you, Wisner getting to the second level was the difference in this game.
Yeah.
He's a little more natural sometimes in the flat.
You think so?
He played in the slot at DeSoto a lot.
Yeah,
Well, only
they had a
because
running
they had a younger running back in Tiger Ridden where they could get the best 11 on the field. With when they had Trey on one side, Jonte Cook was on the other, and that gave defenses hell. But he was a pure running back at Waco Connolly.
Yeah, he's got great vision as a running back, but he doesn't have the ideal.
No, he's not your stereotypical NFL back. I don't know if he's going to even play in the NFL that long. But I'm telling you, he goes on grit. He goes on determination. He goes on 18, 19 years of people telling him he's not good enough. He uses that. Like, it's a legitimate thing, and I think that's why he's such a fan favorite and locker room favorite.
You know what he is? He's a smaller Chris Ogbonnaya.
Chris Ogbonnaya played in the NFL.
For more than a minute.
Yeah.
Chris Ogbonnaya was.
And you know what? You know what Chris Ogbonnaya did in high school? Played slot receiver.
Yeah, he played receiver at Texas at first too, I think.
Yeah.
And then by the end, he was
still in Houston.
Yeah, that 2008 offense got a lot of mileage from. They could go 5 wide, and Ogbonnaya he could come into protection. He could run routes like a receiver. He could run the ball if you needed him to. Wisner has a similar deal. He's got great vision, but he looks most special when he's catching the ball out of the backfield, I think.
And Chris Bennett makes a good point. Wisner was dinged up coming into this game. Wisner was limping off the field. Like this was a boxing match for Wisner. He was still hampered, and I wouldn't be surprised if they held him back a little bit this week to make sure he was a little bit more fresh for Saturday. Wisner is not healthy, guys, and he is literally forcing himself back in the game because he understands how valuable he is to this group right now.
Yeah, I'm glad Blake Bryant brought this up. David Stone walloped him, and it's because he hurdled a guy. And I think when he was airborne, Stone and all 300 pounds of him hit all 200 pounds of Wisner, and it was one of those ooh moments in the stadium.
Stone's their best defensive player.
Ian, the third and final method you were talking about with getting third downs for this game, why quarterback, why counter? So the why is not DeAndre Moore right here running across the screen. It's actually Jack Endries pulling and leading for Arch on the outside.
Arch beats him to the spot because Arch sees the grass and is like, I'm just going to go get this and get down. Now, somebody pointed out in my comments that if he'd gone outside, he might have scored.
Yeah.
Rewatching it, I think that might actually be true. But Manning was just thinking, I'm going to get the yardage and get down. And
that's exactly
great.
Right.
That's totally great.
The only thing where I don't believe that is 29's right there. And it almost looks like, I don't think it is on this play, but maybe sometime in the future, DeAndre Moore could be a pitch guy. If they tighten it up.
I think Ryan Niblett could be a pitch guy.
But I mean, just the other thing, this play is not designed for that long. That is a very
dangerous. That's a dangerous play.
That is a very long pitch, and that's not where the play is designed to go.
More, you would throw it more like a bubble. You just turn and kind of toss it.
Yeah, that's what Aaron Rodgers would do.
Moore's just taking people with him. He's not actually trying to be a part of the play.
They had other versions of outside zone where they would bring Moore on motion like this, but then they would have him go to block a backside guy if Manning kept the ball. And we're going to see more of that in future weeks, I'm pretty sure, especially as Manning gets healthier. That's
a good Nick Brooks play.
I was just about to say that, Joe. Nick Brooks is just picking someone up and putting them where he wants them.
And I'm trying to see who beats, because that's Jaden Jackson. He beats somebody to get to that point, but Brooks is like, okay, whoa, got to get him out of there. And on that's the pin. That's the pin part.
You know what my favorite part there is? Brandon Baker didn't even look to hit anyone.
Well, the play's not going his way.
No, sir. That is not the right answer. If someone was coaching, you would be running lines.
I would bet that if Texas were to lose Gooseby to the NFL after the season, that Brooks might end up starting at left tackle next year.
Well, hopefully we don't have to think about that right now, because I don't think that's actually going to be the case.
Yeah.
Got one more play to look at, I think, from Ian, and that is, where is that?
If that doesn't happen, Justin, then Baker better have a good offseason, because he could be.
They're going to. I think they're going to bring in someone anyway. They're going to bring in someone to challenge Baker.
They may have it already at left guard, and I'll tell you.
No, they don't, because Nick Brooks is a guard. He's not a tackle. He's a guard.
He's a tackle.
He's sitting here proving me right the last 3 weeks, and you still can't see it.
You can find guards in the portal way more easily than tackles. Also,
100%, brother, 100%. Yeah. That's why they almost had 2 offensive tackles on this roster in May. 2 new ones, not guards.
The one thing I'll use to contend that Nick Brooks can still find his way to tackle later in his career is, if I can find his name, it's a very notable name or unique name from Bama from Flood's time, if I can pick it up. It's not obviously not
Leatherwood.
No, it's not Leatherwood. It's like Illuminor.
Yeah.
Not Jermaine Illuminor.
Yeah.
I think he played at A&M though, didn't he?
No. Yeah. Hold on.
I know where we're going with this, but I see what you're saying.
That is a person who exists, though, Joe.
While y'all figure it out, I'm going to let the comments know. Yes, Nick Brooks has tackle capability, but that's not where he's maximized. I would hate to see a speed rush with him on the outside. Not right now. Could he play tackle in the NFL? Perhaps. He is a guard. You have found a guard. Don't screw with it. You found a left guard. Leave him the hell alone.
Yeah, this year.
Well, it's going to be next year too, because I don't think Trevor Goosby's going to the draft. So they're trying to solidify that left side of the line. They want some continuity there, like they had the 3 years before. Don't screw around with Nick Brooks at tackle. Could he do it in a pinch? Yes. He is a starting left guard right now. He better not leave that spot unless something else has happened. Have we seen the other issues with that area? Don't screw with it. Leave him there. And I'm a little scared with speed rushers with him right now. He's still he still lunges. He's still a little off balance. He's still a little big.
I can't find who I'm talking about, but there was a guy who basically he was a guard for his first 2 seasons, and then Flood moved him to tackle, I think, outside after his 3rd year. Maybe he went undrafted. That'd be surprising.
Was it?
It's Emil Ekiyor. That's who it was.
Okay.
He went undrafted. So,
great example.
Yeah. Let's finish up on the 3rd down with this one, Ian. What are we looking for? What are we looking at here on?
They had run this play a couple times already with those tight ends actually blocking on the backside. And so then they finally dusted it off on this play. It's like 3rd and 2. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of blocking the backside edge, Manning is supposedly reading him. He would have made the right read, but I think that they may have known all along that he was going to chase and Manning was going to pull the rug out from under him. And then he's got 2 lead blockers in the tight ends and a really good lead block from, is that Wingo outside or Mosley?
It's Wingo on the bottom. And then that's Mosley. Actually, that's Amari Winston coming across.
Yeah, that's Winston and Wingo.
The receiver throws an amazing block on the safety.
That's Wingo.
That was Wingo.
Texas's receivers are blocking.
Dude, Chris Jackson won't let you see the field if you don't.
Good.
That's what cost Isaiah Bond a ton of reps.
I share Sark's frustration when people keep asking him why some of the big-time freshman receivers don't play. And it's like, of all the things to nitpick about this team, that's got to be one of the dumbest. And
the answer's easy. They have big-time receivers that are older and more experienced.
Yeah, they're they're getting into it. They're developing an amazing rapport between not only Manning and Livingston, but increasingly Moore and Wingo, and now Mosley. And you want to screw it up by sending in a freshman that may or may not block and may or may not run the right route? Why?
You have to understand something, too, with those freshmen. They are unhappy at this point. One of them isn't. But the other ones are – they're listen, the receiver position can be a little devious. There can be some pouting. They need to understand there's a rank here. There's a chain of command. There's an order.
If you're a freshman receiver watching this, let me give you some advice. You should shut up and get to work, because Sarkis can find a better replacement for you in the portal like that so easily.
I agree with it. And watch Dalen McCutcheon's workout on a day-to-day basis. If you want to know what a freshman good receiver looks like, go watch Dalen McCutcheon's habits every day.
I think for Texas fans, it's become a thing where they saw Dallas Wilson have a great debut. They saw Vermeil Brown have a great debut. They've seen Ryan Williams, Cam Coleman, Jeremiah Smith, and they want that. And it's like, yes, of course, you would like to have first-round talents. And I think Texas, there's probably still somebody on this roster who's going to be a first-round receiver, just by the law of averages. But, like, who are you going to take them off for? Are you going to take Ryan Wingo off for Khalil Lockett when you just saw Ryan Wingo do that? Like, are you going to take DeAndre Moore off the field? Like,
Ryan Wingo is the best blocking wide receiver on the roster.
Dalen McCutcheon, it played a little bit out of necessity, but he passed up guys. He did things right. Like, you can play as a freshman, and I understand that these freshmen like Lockett, like French, like Michael Terry, they have unique physical talents, but so do Ryan Wingo and DeAndre Moore and Parker Livingstone and Emmett Mosley. And Mosley's a little different, but Mosley's also proof of kind of what we're talking about as well. So I think it's a little bit of like jealousy and being like, dang, why can't we have what they have?
It's a natural competitiveness, Joe.
Yeah. No, and I don't think about,
listen, once you inject money into the conversation, it makes it more sour. It really does.
Well, I'm not talking about inside. I'm talking about the Texas fans who see Dallas Wilson and Jeremiah Smith, and it's like, why don't we have that? It's like, well, again, like, are you going to take them off the field? That's where I'm heading to.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
We'll keep going in just a second. Before we do, a word from Andre the lawyer.
Texans know when you're injured, there's one name that gets results: Andre the lawyer. Trust the team that has secured millions for their clients and helped thousands of Texans win their injury cases. Car wrecks, slip and falls, 18-wheeler accidents, on-the-job injuries, wrongful deaths. Don't let the insurance companies tell you what your claim is worth. Andre the lawyer will fight for you. His principal office is in Dallas, but they serve Texans throughout the state. So don't wait. Call 214-444-8808. That's 214-444-8808. Contact info is in the description.
Let's get this real quick. Very interesting. The true freshman factors for Texas right now. They could be in the same situation in 2026. I mean, like, is it? Like what?
They're going to get all those starters back.
It's just seeing others around the country do that and wondering why you can't. But like, how many other receiver seems to be the only spot where a lot of fans look at. It's like freshman contributor. Like, we need them right now, and you know it takes time to adjust to college.
Some of these freshman receivers won't be here in January, and one of the reasons is the four main guys that are in the rotation now are all coming back next year.
Yeah.
Let them all leave. Let them all leave if they want.
No.
Can get more in the portal.
There's a couple that can go, and there's a couple that need to stay. Come on, Ian.
There's a couple that you can get in the portal that are just as good or better.
Be hospitable.
If you don't want to stick at Texas, you go dig your own grave somewhere.
There's always Tulsa.
There's only to see what they offer you.
Mississippi State.
What are we even talking about? Like receiver has been receiver is so far down the list. If you're going to list Texas's problems this year,
right? Joe's just talking about the fans' angst about freshman receivers.
I know, but I'm talking to those fans. Like, how far do you have to get before you even get to receiver? Like, receiver's been pretty good, great at times.
It's progressively gotten better each week.
Like, what about running back?
Yeah.
What about line?
Yeah. Where's the banging for James Simon?
I would rather cornerback. I would list over receiver on this team as a.
Let's go through the SEC, Joseph.
Yeah, I guess the last thing is like I would understand people clamoring for more Nate Kibble, who is a redshirt freshman, than I would understand clamoring for more like name a freshman wide receiver, that type of thing. All right, ranked matchup in Nashville. Don't get to say that too often. And Vanderbilt's favored. I should have looked at what the over-under was for this game, but this is going to be somewhat – I mean, LSU's offense just sucks.
It's very inconsistent.
Are they coming off a bye?
No, they won 20-10 over South Carolina.
No, they're not.
They need to find receivers. Receiver has been their big issue this year.
Which is odd because they have not had any issues finding receivers in the last 5, 6, 7 years.
They took some portal guys that have not panned out outside. I
always had success with the recruited guys that they developed, to be honest with you.
Chris Hilton, I think, is actually really good. I wonder if he's finally getting some chances. Let's see check this box score versus South Carolina. Nope.
Probably pretty ugly.
I like Vanderbilt. I like Vandy. I like the Fighting Pavias. I think the Aztec Warrior at home. I early in the morning kickoff. Listen, LSU fans don't. I mean, there's nobody that rocks and parties harder than that fan base when it comes to athletics. But 11 a.m., like, come on, man. They're coming off of hangovers. Vanderbilt, they're probably coming off of late night study halls. I like Vandy.
You doubt the fortitude of LSU football fans.
No, I don't. No. I don't doubt them at all. I put them in the highest esteem, Joe. I'm saying if I'm Vandy, that 11 a.m. kick is a lot better for us than it would be later for those guys.
It's in Nashville also.
It's going to be – I heard somebody talk about how one of the big reasons Vanderbilt renovated their stadium, aside from it being old, is because they understand a lot of SEC fans are going to come to their house as kind of a little vacation. It's like, all right, let's build some premium areas and try to rack in a little bit of money. But now they're winning football games, so they're doing a little bit of the best of both worlds. You know what? I'm going to say Vanderbilt. I just think that it's a game where they can cut down possessions, and then I don't trust LSU to take advantage of those possessions. So I think the Doors get it, and 2-2 in the SEC is not going to be what Brian Kelly wants to hear at this point.
Can you imagine how he's going to unload on a reporter after that game?
Yeah. Okay. Now I really want Vanderbilt to win. Oklahoma at South Carolina. A little bit of a break for the Sooners in that this is not a night game because they get pretty crazy there. 5.5 on the road, though. That seems kind of big after what we saw from Mateer on Saturday.
South Carolina just fired their offensive line coach.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
South Carolina fired their offensive line coach after last week. So they're like,
whoa,
they got some big problems of their own.
That might be part of that line because
they're a little bit of a mess. But you got to wonder, the blueprint is out there on Oklahoma. This is like another. I think the rest of Oklahoma's games are like a race to 20. And whoever can get to 20 can win the game. So Sellers could maybe drag them there on his own, and I don't know if Mateer can.
I don't know if Mateer is going to be protected.
Yeah.
Because that O-line is still banged up, and Dylan Stewart's still out there. I mean, we saw Colin Simmons get 2.5. Saw Lance Jackson get a little bit of run. Saw Brad Spence.
Little bit of run. Lance Jackson's damn near a starter by this point.
Dylan Stewart's on that level is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, no question. No question. Dylan Stewart might be at the top of that list.
And so it's going to be a race to 20. And we'll see if Mateer is sharper. That's the other thing. Like,
he needs more jump passes.
The practice thing, I think it didn't really bubble up until they learned how much he had been practicing after the game. And I mean, I know Venable said like, oh, we didn't put him in on good. like that matters. And if he's still limited in that front, like South Carolina's got enough talent to make things tough, especially with that O-line. The Aggies at Arkansas, not in Jerry World. Thank you. How many points are going to be scored in this game, Justin?
I think there could be some points scored in this game. Like, I think Arkansas can put up some points on A&M's defense, and I know for a fact A&M's going to be able to score on that Arkansas defense. Like, A&M, they rely on the run. Losing Le'Veon Moss, I'm sorry, that's a big loss. I think they've got guys that can fill in. I know Reuben Owens, Amari Daniels, but Le'Veon Moss was like their bell cow. That's the guy that they were really could slow the game down and control it. I think A&M waxes Arkansas. I think they're hanging on by a thread. I'm wondering how much longer Sam Pittman's going to be the guy.
I have some news for you about Sam Pittman. He was fired about 2.5 weeks ago.
No, it cannot have. That cannot be.
Yeah,
it can't be.
I think Sam Pittman comes back on the pulse of Arkansas football.
I think Sam Pittman comes back.
You know who the interim head coach is?
It's Mr. I don't want him to acknowledge that guy.
That's why it's still.
Listen, Sam Pittman needs to ride around the stadium on a motorcycle because I'm not acknowledging Bobby Petrino.
That'd be awesome.
I'm not doing it.
Sailor Joe brings something up like Petrino put up a fight against this. Petrino's good on offense, and this is a good Arkansas team. And there's one little tidbit from Arkansas. Like, they portaled an offensive line last year, and it wasn't great. But that offensive line this year has kind of come together a little bit to where they can score. They can give Taylon Green some opportunity. The defense is just atrocious. And that's why Petrino cleared house.
That's why they're bringing Sam Pittman back, Joe.
But, I think we've been asking questions about A&M's defense. They've answered them for the most part. Granted, it was against Jackson Arnold.
They're getting better every week, Joe.
It was against Jackson Arnold, Auburn, and it was against a Mississippi State team that's still developing. But this could be a game that gets into the 30s for both teams.
Yeah, defense, yeah.
And again, it's in Fayetteville too, so it's a complicating factor.
At the Walmart arena. This is the game right here.
Yeah, this is the game for me. I think it's the game day game. Ole Miss at Georgia. Georgia's still 7 in the hook. Trinidad Chambliss, are we believers yet?
Yes.
I think we have to be. I think Lane is just tickled that what was Trinidad, like the third string? I know he was second, but I couldn't tell if he was.
I think he was second string. He was a star national champion in Division II last year at Ferris State.
The one thing Woodcrest brings it up, Georgia should be 3-3. Like, this Georgia team reminds me a little bit of last year's Alabama team. Like, they're really good.
Last year's Georgia team.
I think last year's Georgia team had a little bit more as far as dudes on defense.
Yes, I'll give you that.
And
older
I think
guys.
This is still a really good Georgia team, and the offense is it's Bobo-ish. It's still talented, but like there's not enough good to not slip up, or there's not enough good right now to where they can avoid slip ups. Like the margins are they haven't cleared those margins.
And their O-line, they're having issues on the O-line, which is having a trickle-down effect.
You know what else they're doing? They are not fitting the run very well at linebacker. I've watched a couple games I've watched a couple games from Georgia this year where I'm like Kentucky creased them on a couple screens and creased them on a couple of runs where I'm like, where are the Georgia linebackers? What are they doing? They're not Georgia anymore. Everything that we ascribe to a Kirby Smart Georgia team is not this year's Georgia team.
And
I'm
Trinidad
getting less and less worried about that game in Athens.
Trinidad can run too. So some of the things that to maybe take on.
Do you know there's Trinidad, Texas, Joe?
I did not know that.
It is, yes. It's between Kearns and Corsicana off of Highway 31 on my way to Austin. It's got a Dairy Queen. It's got a river and a convenience store.
Talked a lot about this one, or maybe not as much as we thought. Texas 12.5. Where do y'all think on that one?
Sounds good.
Yeah. I think my prediction was kind of in the 10 to 12 point range.
I would take Texas in the points here.
It's the mature game.
Yeah.
If Texas comes out like Sark came out Monday, look, can't take these guys. You know, he was pretty adamant on let's keep our boots on the ground. I think they'll be okay.
Tennessee at Bama, third Saturday in October, night game in Tuscaloosa. This is going to be, I think there are a lot of points in this one too. And my big question is, can the Alabama secondary stop Tennessee's offense? That's my big thing here.
Yes.
I
think so.
Really?
I worry about their run defense, but Kalen DeBoer has figured out the best way to play great run defense is to score early on offense.
He's got a quarterback that can do that now too.
Yeah,
Simpson's playing as good as anybody.
DeBoer is back in Washington. I'm going to score early and control the game.
Good call.
Mode. They are.
Doesn't Josh Heupel have a little bit of that tendency too?
I don't know if Heupel thinks that far ahead.
Come on, man. He had Mike Leach.
Here, the one problem for Tennessee is going to be Jermod McCoy just still not playing.
He's not playing. I don't know if he's going to play this year, Joe. I was talking to a couple of people at White House like 2 weeks ago. I don't even know if he's going to suit up this year.
Which stinks because that is a really good football player.
He was he was going to be a projected first-round pick.
And that is
and Texas could have had him.
Yeah. Missouri at Auburn. I think there was a lot of I think I glossed over Mississippi State in Florida. Was there anything y'all wanted to add there?
That's a push. That's a push if I've ever seen one.
Sounds like Billy's done after this weekend, no matter what, from some of the reporting out there, which is odd.
I don't know. I mean, Florida found something that worked against Texas, and then it didn't work again the next weekend, and that's a push. Mississippi State's playing better in Gainesville. That's hard to tell.
I think it's done for Billy anyway. Missouri at Auburn, anything there?
When do we see Deuce Knight?
Yeah. It's the question everybody's asking now.
And here's the thing about Missouri. I don't know if they're a paper tiger or not, because Auburn's defensive front, you're not going to run on them. You're going to have to do some other stuff.
They might run on him.
Do what?
They might run on him.
I haven't seen many do it up to this point.
Yeah, but yeah, I know.
Auburn's defensive front is the reason they're even in games for this season.
I wonder if they're on quit watch though, because so the whole running back thing with Auburn, from as best I can tell, is they have a banged up guy who was a captain, and he went to Hugh and said like, "Hey, I want to be part of this team. I'm a captain, but I'm not going to be effective. How about I redshirt?" And I think Hugh said get gone. And that was a captain. That was a player that everybody voted as captain. So you do
Does
that.
Auburn still have 4 coaches calling plays? I'm just curious. Did somebody get a first down? Another coach gets second down. Another coach gets third down, and then you're the last one out if you get the fourth down, because usually you got to call punt.
It's always been freeze, really.
I think it's just the one guy calling plays that's been the problem.
Yeah.
It is.
I think the guy running the program is the problem.
Yeah. Turns out they're the same person. Man, yeah, I don't see how your Auburn are anywhere close to satisfied, especially if Missouri comes in and does.
But I think Auburn can win this game, guys. I'm telling you, their defense might score 2 touchdowns. Missouri's weird. I'm not so sold on Missouri, and I know they played a great game against Alabama, and I know the quarterback has been playing better as well. And they're recruiting really well in this class in 2026. I'm not getting it in Columbia. I just don't know. I got Auburn on that one. Trust me if you're putting money down on it or if you're not.
So before we get out, I want to get one question here. When Napier gets fired, is Texas going for Dallas Wilson?
Yes.
But hold on. Here's the thing. The portal rules are super crazy now. So here's the thing. If Billy gets fired tomorrow, I don't think that 30-day window opens anymore. I think that those guys are on that roster and can't officially enter the portal until January 2nd. Officially. They can say like, "Oh, I'm entering." But remember David Stone, you can say you're entering and not actually enter. So I think the new rule is even if your head coach is fired on October 17th, you are not able to actually enter the portal until January 2nd. In addition, I don't think you can enter the portal until your program has hired a new head coach. I think that's a
man. I haven't heard that. That right there could really screw up. Because a lot of these schools have their guy within a couple days. Some of them don't.
So I think that's an
addition. You're going to hold the
kids
hostage for what the sins of the administration? I didn't know that, Joe.
So I think that's there as well.
Okay.
And plus, let's for the sake of argument say that, Kiffin is who comes over. And I think we're talking a lot about Auburn, talking a lot about any of these guys. Auburn and Florida want Dallas Wilson and Cam Coleman on their team. It's not just going to be coach fired by, they're going to do, and granted, they may still enter the portal. They may still get bidded, I guess, I don't know what to say, tamper with, enter the auction. But Florida and Auburn are not going to let these guys just go okay, whatever, see ya. These teams have money for retention more than ever because of rev share. And now it's just I think there's a lot of wish casting about all these players who, you see on a roster with, fired coaches and things.
What's the first thing we did? What's the first thing we do, Joe, when Virginia Tech fired their coach?
Talk about it.
You look at the roster. Who can you get?
Yeah.
Who can you grab? That's our first reaction to everything. I think these new rules that you're talking about, I think that's going to be substantial because, all the big schools are going to go after Dallas Wilson. But you nailed it. Retention is huge. It was big for Sark in this offseason, retaining guys. So they're going to try to throw cat. And that's another thing. NIL changes a lot of that. If you're being substantially compensated, you don't necessarily – you can wait a little bit to see what coach they bring in and see if you connect with that guy. It's what makes college football fun in November, December, and January. Fun for fans, craziness for us.
I would have the same attitude I would if Sark left in Texas. We're going to talk to Kyle Shanahan.
Or Sean Payton.
Sure, whatever. I'd say let's talk to him, but I think that money is going to be better spent somewhere else. Not because Dallas Wilson wouldn't be worth the money, but because I think getting Dallas Wilson in the portal, if he did decide to leave, which Joe is right, would be hard to pry him away from those schools. You're talking about multi-million-dollar NIL deal.
Yeah.
And that's a new offensive tackle, a new running back.
2 new defensive tackles.
That should be good there, right?
Well, no, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah. A cornerback, starting cornerback, another kicker, another punter.
I don't want to spend on Dallas Wilson what I could spend on a all SEC corner to replace Manny Muhammad next year.
Yeah.
Got 2 quick ones before we get out of here. Is there a secret portal, player stuck in place, agent talk to NIL? Yes, there's back channeling. Just like there was back channeling with coaches and intermediaries and stuff like that. The players can do this too. And then the last thing, Ian, I think will get us out of here on this one. Super chat from Freelance Society. Why do you think more teams want to do 12 personnel, 2 tight ends as their main formations versus a 5-wide spread or a Tennessee offense?
Because it allows coaches to win in a way that's familiar to them and in a way that feels more sustainable over time. So if you go 5-wide spread, you have to have a super smart, experienced quarterback who knows where to go with the ball and can take care of the football for you. If you go Tennessee style, you have to be married to that system. If you're any other coach that's like either A, I don't want to have an NFL caliber decision maker every year in order to win, or B, I don't want to give up my entire offensive system, then a 12 personnel offense allows you to stick with what you know, with what's more traditional, and it gives you a chance to be like, hey, let's actually just try to win games and control games by running the football. That's the easiest way to win. As I learned in flag football this year, I tried to go super pass heavy. Week 1, we lost 30 zip. I realized we can't catch the ball. This is too high a bar. Now we almost never, ever throw it. I just completely overhauled the offense to the run game, have not lost since. It's easier.
We've been incorporating some run concepts in ours. It's just too valuable.
It's too easy. It's just give the fast kid the ball with maybe some misdirection.
We do a misdirection. We do a misdirection.
Yeah,
we have one go one way. We'll have one go in motion, cut back to see if they're in that man, and if he's not, then we'll have the quarterback and the running back do a read.
The one thing, like, I think when people think 5-wide spread, like, even when Texas goes 5 wide, it's not 5 wide receivers. There's a tight end. There's a running back out there. I can't think of a single team. I mean, now that Mike Leach has passed,
Houston, 1989.
I don't think anybody has 5 wide receivers on the field right now. And even Leach wasn't doing that at the very end.
Yeah, no, Leach
wasn't even doing that.
Leach was 4 wide.
Yeah. Because Leach figured out he could get some guys who could block in the SEC, and so he did that toward the end. So, yeah, it's just, and sometimes coaches are stubborn. I think that was a good way to wrap it all in, Ian. So, another great episode of IT Live. Thank you for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Head to InsideTexas.com. It is the first link in our description. You can go ahead and click on there, sign up for just $1, join the best Texas Longhorns community, get the best Texas Longhorns intel, get everything you need on game days in the weeks leading up to. And hey, we're talking a little bit of hoops. I know some people are a little interested in that. We got that going on. So great time to join Inside Texas. We've been dealing the content out on a daily basis. So Ian, thank you. Justin, thank you. Hey, make sure you watch the deep dive later today. Comes out at noon. We'll also have a video, me and Evan reacting to whatever Steve Sarkisian says, probably talk about Connor Robertson a little bit. And I think we may have one more video after that. So make sure you stay tuned into the channel. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on IT Live, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.